Hello and welcome to another exciting review for Juni Taisen Manga Chapter 7, Rat Monkey. This was a great chapter. This is exactly what I wanted from Juni Taisen. I wanted just a second where we slowed down and looked at the characters. It's kind of like chapter, I think it was 4 or 5 was, where we got to learn more about Bird. As long as we have chapters like this where we get character development, I don't care how many characters die. I'm fine with it being everybody dies. I'm fine with everybody going out. I just need some actual time dedicated to character introductions. And what this chapter really is about Monkey and Rat. And specifically it's about Monkey, and that, in my opinion, she's probably the strongest character, not physically maybe, we don't know just how strong Ox and Horse are, but mentally she's the strongest character in this entire fight. And I wrote her off at first as the, I don't want to kill anybody, I'm a nice person, I want everybody to get out of here. And then my theory was, she's doing this on purpose and she wants to win. No, she legitimately wants to stop people from dying. That is her goal. She is what Kira Yamato wanted to be. She is what Kyo Asano wanted to be. She is a character that has seen wars and has seen death over and over and over and over and over again, and worse than death over and over and over again, and wants to put a stop to it. And I love that so much. She's going to die. There's no way she lives. There's no way she wins. She's going to die, probably next chapter. But I loved this chapter. So we find out a lot of cool stuff. We find out that her real name is Misaki Yuki, that she's put a stop to 314 wars and 229 internal conflicts. That's a crazy number. And as we find out at the end of the chapter, that means even more that she couldn't put a stop to. Even more that kept going anyway, even though she tried. We also find out that Rat is just as perceptive as we expected, that he is not going to stop just because, or that he's not going to miss things just because he's sleeping. He's still definitely paying attention. And he's way more perceptive than even I thought he was, because we find out that he recognized that she was the one who broke the floor. And we find out she broke the floor because somebody was about to try and kill everybody. And maybe it was Boar. I know that at the start we saw that Boar was considering it, and maybe that's what Monkey sensed. I actually have my money on Sheep, though, that he was about to try and blow everybody in the room up using his wormhole things that he talked about. So we will see there, but I figure that's definitely what happened. I'm probably wrong, though. It was probably like Tiger or something. I don't know. We'll probably find out next chapter, because it'll probably be that person that comes to kill Monkey. But we also find out that Monkey is ridiculously physically strong, that she is able to crush giant boulders with ease, which explains exactly how she was able to break the floor. She also seems really fast, because she was able to get around the floor without the others noticing what she's doing in the instant when she went to break it. We find out just some really good panels with Rat asking her, how does she deal? And, the panel of Rat talking about how, of Nezumi talking about how he hates everybody, basically. Because he goes back home and he's in a high school, and he's surrounded by all these other students that are at peace and that don't have to go fight. And he's fighting, defending them, and he hates them, and it just makes him want to kill them. He views them as human garbage. It's just such a good premise, because for the person who is constantly going out and fighting, to come back home and see everybody else complaining about other stuff, when they're constantly out on the battlefield having to kill and almost be killed, it's really interesting, that dynamic to me. It makes me appreciate Sosuke Sagara from Fullmetal Panic so much more, because he is able to get in with all the high school fun and stuff. Because clearly, Rat shows that a character that has to do that can, not always will, but can look at the rest of his classmates with scorn because of it. And I really, really appreciated that part. Everything to do with him asking her how she deals with it, and her revealing that she doesn't. Her revealing that it would be so easy to just tell him that that's a childish concern and he'll grow out of it, but instead she decides to be honest and say that she still struggles with that even now. Because when you see those atrocities, how can you continue to believe in people like she does? And it really does show that she's very strong. And he, of course, questions her and says, aren't those words just, like, those are just hollow words. And she thinks back on everything, the piles of bodies, the bones, the murders, the slavery, the child murders, the children killing their parents, all the tribal infighting and everything that she's been a part of over the years trying to stop and trying to prevent. And she starts crying and she says, don't look down on her hollow words. Don't underestimate her hollow words. Because they're not hollow to her. She means them. She wants everybody to survive. And granted, the pacifist is always going to have to die in this kind of story. They never get to live, unfortunately. But her character is so interesting that I'm so glad we got to see this side of it. Because before I was just like, okay, well, there's Monkey. She's the one who believes that in the good in people. And no, she doesn't believe in the good in people. She believes that people are human garbage, but she forces herself to look for the good in people because she wants to believe in the good in people. And that's so much better than, I believe people are good deep down and we're going to work together to save the day. It's so much more interesting to have a character who's like, no, people are terrible, but I want to believe that there's good in them still. And so the two of these characters obviously are perfect. They were put together just to have this conversation, I'm sure. And who knows, maybe Rat's going to be the one that kills her next chapter. I don't think so. Rat seems real passive. It seems like he's waiting it out, kind of. Almost like what Niwatori was planning, except she got too aggressive. I also really appreciated how Rat was talking about to somebody like Niwatori, Monkey is basically defanging her with her lack of venom. That's a really good way to put that, where she'd never met somebody like Monkey who could still believe in the good in people, and it absolutely changed her. And Rat even goes so far as to say that even a regular person could have killed Niwatori at that point. So this was an excellent chapter. Excellent chapter. And as much as I'm not looking forward to Monkey dying, it's absolutely going to happen. Probably next chapter. And, we'll see. But I just want to keep getting character moments like this with the other characters, because when you introduce really cool-looking characters like this, and then you don't spend a lot of time with them, like with Boar, we got everything about her situation with her family and with her sister, and that is good backstory for her. That's pretty good. I would have liked some more time to get into her actual personality, but that's pretty good. We haven't learned anything about Rabbit yet, really, or Snake at all, but I assume we'll get that probably with Dragon. But then you get into stuff like Dog, and it was, okay, he teaches kindergarten and sells kids. Is that all that's all we get. All right. And with Niwatori, it was like, yeah, she was raised on a battlefield, basically. She doesn't care about other human beings, and that's about it. Okay? So I love that we're getting this in-depth look into Monkey, kind of like we did with Boar. And I'm hoping that we can get more of this with the other characters as well. But I feel like as we get closer to the end of the series, we might wind up in a situation where it's like, hey, it's Ox and Rat left, and we're getting no more character development. Let's go. So we shall see. I also liked how this chapter was a good clear confirmation that we're not just following Na'vi. He's not the viewpoint for the series, because he was watching Ox kill Chicken while this conversation was happening, I'm sure. We don't see him dive down into the sewers again to be able to see what's going on with Monkey, so. But we will be back next week with another exciting chapter of Juni Taisen, and we will see how the story continues to go. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Zodiac War has to offer.